Okay. I'm going to try to minimize the videos I make for today, because what they do is, as they break me down, it's getting hard for me to function. It's just so hard to be functional and find the energy to do things because of the constant manipulations. And it's just funny. I heard some trash. I don't know what to do. In the hallway say, "I'm 15 years old," trying to, like, as if I care. They plan to do this frame, and somehow they think it's gonna be less of a frame if they open the door and yell the age, as if like that changes like a frame to be a frame. Um, uh, but it's pathetic. These people do what they do. I gotta see them for what they are. They're just contracted to do these things. This is just a civilian involved in a program where they, do these manipulations using technology that is coming from the Department of Defense, and these entities are running this program. They try to make it look like it's just some kind of like, femme fatale organization of the community, protecting the community. These are just clowns. It's just clowns. They know what they are. They know what they're part of. They know what this thing is about, and they're gonna get some kind of incentive. They are getting incentivized in ways, but also the fact that you're part of a program that can do so much to a human being in regard of manipulation. This is basically science fiction, right? Have the ability to control a person's thoughts, manipulate that person in ways that is just disturbing. Even though the manipulations are negative, it's just still manipulating somebody in a way that is just not, it's just almost magical, because this technology can make you think in ways that you naturally would not think, but they can manipulate you to think in whatever ways. And it's not natural, it's definitely not organic, but it can be forced onto you. And they want you to identify. These bottom feeders want you to identify these ways of thinking. And their jobs are to gaslight you into accepting these manipulations, right? As I'm saying that via V2K, they are trying to diverge, they try to disorient me, tell me I'm going to be raped, I'm going to be screamed. They tell me how savage they're going to be. Things to just to disorient what I'm saying, because they truly want me to somehow let them escape into, no, they just map things up in my brain to think this way. So, in ways to just try to create a different storyline of the reality that they manipulate me to experience these things. And they try to use whatever wordage that can help make sense of obvious manipulations, right? Just to have somebody who randomly opens their door and yell, "I'm 15 years old," and close the door. I'm supposed to be like subscriptive for these things. You understand? I'm supposed to be like, okay, good for you, congrats, happy 15th. I don't know what to tell you, but what is the reason why she's saying that is probably because she wants me. It's probably because she wants to let me know that they're gonna frame me. And like I said, there's some childlike individuals. There's childlike individuals that want you to give them like a hint of, just let them fantasize that this is not foul, that they are not this trash contracted by this governmental entities filled with pedophiles. They can't even say the name of a pedophile that picked up 15-year-old kids, actually younger than that, at the YMCA. And they think by saying their age is going to minimize how this looks like a frame. Now, like I said, I know what this is about, right? I understand. I'm just a human subject in this program that does so much things to a human subject. And the program is ran by governmental entities. As you can see, the symptoms of what I'm experiencing is what's going to happen to me. Speaking is going to be harder and harder. My brain is just being forced to say something. They want me to say lame because they're going to handicap me as if they handicap other people. Nothing new. But they just want to try to block and box in this fantasy of what they are, when in reality, when you involve yourself in this program, you have accepted that you are a low-life bottom feeder. You enjoy the fun, you enjoy the company of many other involved in this, but you're involved in a program that does horrible things to even children. And it's funny how they try to minimize you. They're like, you're nothing. I was like, that's what I thank God for. Thank God that I am a nothing, and I'm not something like you. And you can open the door, yell your age, and go back and show how much of a something you are. You understand? I'm just thankful. 2 seconds ago. So, like I said, I'm a TI. I'm a target individual. Target individuals are human subjects in this program, and we go through some disturbing things because we're human subjects, and the technology they implement onto us is sophisticated, and it got this sophisticated and so advanced because they had to use human subjects. It's like a machine learning technology where the more samples it gets, the better it gets. That's how this becomes as good as it is. The preciseness of manipulations and the reaction and stimulations and thoughts is just consistent, and it's slow. It's just like for example, we are being killed in ways, but in a slow process, right? Slowly. Sometimes what they do, they even destroy your organs, and or they do something to you that makes you feel sick or whatever, but can fix this or make you feel better the next day. They cause illness and they're the one responsible for whatever illness they cause and stop it. So you're truly a guinea pig. They truly, like, you can feel pain at one point and like, oh, what's going, and then the next day you wake up not feeling anything there. So these are the trash involved in this. You use human, and then there's human subject, and they like to call you a pig, you're a dog. It's like, I'd rather be a pig, a dog, a worm, whatever, than be something that whatever you are. What you are. You just use your own words. Even call yourself gods if you want to. I rather roast in the fire than be this trash that they are. Today was just rough, and then I'm just trying to get out of it. That funk that they forced me to have, it's just tiresome. I'm trying to hydrate myself. Maybe that's gonna help. I don't eat much. The hunger, like, because they do things with my gastro organs. Digesting is just hard. I don't know if I can actually digest. I have light indigestion, and I don't know what's going on with my intestines. But eating is just definitely not something that feels good at this point. But I will have to eat at some point, if not whatever. But hydration is something I need to at least do. But that just the energy just is super drained. On top of the mental tormenting. For example, I just saw a grooming video about a woman who grooms dogs, right? Just a way to entertain myself. And it's just that woman doing something to the dog, and then they make me think of, there's a time when I think her daughter was she got like a little girl, between 4 to 7, around that age. She's just dragging her little girl. Stimulation immediate. It's nasty pedophilia stimulations. I don't know if you can capture the noise campaign, but they try to make me identify to these manipulations, right? Trying to get you to be subscriptive of how they force you to react. And the gaslighting at this point is like, what do you do when validation that they do pedophilia type of torture is validated? You think that I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this is how I would experience what I'm experiencing today if I was not being mapped. You understand? And they think that just a noise campaign, a loud yelling of something is going to be, oh my gosh, oh, it's me. Of course, I know this is nasty things. And they're like, no, now you pay because what you did as a kid. I'm like, oh gosh. Like, is it not clear that I know that you torture children? As young as this baby that you forced me to get stimulation now? I know that they want me to be acceptive of these nasty pedophilia manipulations that they make me experience. It's called a pedophilia type of torture. There is no noise campaign that can stop the reality. You're going to have to make yourself very dumb. The way they try to make me subscribe, no, we mapped it, we creating, I map it. Do you understand? And they're like, no, you felt like that when you were kids. Like, did you hear how retarded you just sounded? Of course you do the pedophilia type of torture. Are you saying the logic way of you want me to accept this is like you are making me feel like a child? It's delusional, it's manipulations, and it's retardations. And they're like, no, you're gonna screw. You felt like that. Do you understand? When I have clear validation, and the gaslighting at this point is just like, it's comical. Because they want you to be like, oh, when you listen to people talk about they do the pedophilia type of torture, no, it's not us. It's our money. We're mapping. And then they go into the torture. You're going to be screaming. They're going to put screws in you. The way they interact with me is via VTuber. And so, obviously, I know they manipulate me to experience that. Even my memories are falsified. They make me have this experience in my memories. And then they've been going through memories and try to change it. My memories to implant that feeling and sensation. It's like, no, but when you saw the picture of this person, Philao's pictures of his children, you felt that. And they use these tonalities, this tone of voices, this loud, like every way, like you can imagine somebody who's trying to gaslight somebody. It's like, oh, no, it's campaign. Yeah, you see program. It's like, you are delusional. These people were renowned to do the pedophilia type of torture, and guess what? Cherry on top of all the cherries, these agencies contracting these losers. And I call them losers because once you're involved in this, once you're willing to dumb yourself down and make yourself damn near retarded to think that I'm somehow going to think, no, you guys are not doing the pedophilia type of torture that I've just heard somebody else say and describing exactly what I'm going through. But you are making me think a way I've thought when I was a child and just somehow rearranging my brain to think in that way again via your mapping, right? But on top of this retardation, they want me to start thinking. These entities contracting this trash. Those agencies like the CIA, DOD, there's pedophilia issues there. Like, I mean, how much validation can one human being have in a lifetime? And why do they use childlike individuals for? Is it not helpful when you have a childlike individual involved in a way to try to, that can dumb themselves down to that level? I'm just thankful that I didn't have to make myself this retarded. I truly do, because this in life, you do things that are just kind of humiliating. I've done things I'm embarrassed, but Jesus, thank God I didn't have to wait day in and day out to try to gaslight somebody in this retarded way. Is at this point, when you recognize gaslighting for what it is, when you realize these people really want me to dumb myself down to accept this retardation of logic, when I can clearly see the reality of things. I'm saying, like you could, it has gone to that level of gaslighting, right? Before they were trying to be a little smooth. They can tell me, like, this is not white. This is purple or orange. This is orange. It's like, no, we mapped it as orange. You see, you can see orange. You've seen orange before. See, that's orange. That's the kind of, and they won't be like, they want me to not laugh about this. It's like, of course I know you're forcing me to think this way. They have no shame. And I'd rather starve to death than having to live a life where I myself had to make myself that. Somebody in the hallway is like, no, we're using a map. And they make me mad. It's just so pathetic. And when you see it for what it is, they immediately start trying to talk about, they talk about the torture I'm going to experience. Oh, your eyes is going to be pulled out. It's like, yes, my eyes is going to be pulled out. I'm going to be screaming because I'm in pain. You're going to do the pedophilia type of torture. You're going to force me to get stimulation every time I look at a child. I'm going to be framed by people who sold their own children to it. And then I'll die in sufferance. But I'll never subscribe to the manipulations that you made me experience. And you will be reimbursed. Your hard work will come. You get a receipt. They're going to come collect that receipt. It's easy to do what they do. It's not a hard thing to do. As long as you just dumb yourself down, which I don't think that's been a problem for people to do. It's easy. They literally sit there and just see me just going through these manipulations and make noise campaign. It's like biblical. It's like when they say like it's easy to do evil. It's easy to do the easiest route of doing things is usually the bad way. Like it's just as easy as children involving themselves. Right now they're going through their script. They you pay, you did this, you did this. I said, shut up! You're just trying to stop me from saying what you do to people, which is the pedophilia type of torture. And you're gonna frame me whatever way you frame me. Yes, entities like the police, the firefighters, the hospitals are all involved in this. Just like this woman who said that, but everybody else has said that. You are just contracted by these governmental entities to try to make me subscribe to this. I will not subscribe to this. I will not identify with the manipulation I know is manipulated into me. But you're going to make me feel stimulation, especially with little girls. And you're going to be saying, no, we mapped it. With little girls, it's true because when you were a kid or at some point in your childhood, you felt like that. And then you go to the point where you're going to start manipulating my memories in my childhood and beyond to make me feel the same thing I'm feeling today somewhere else in my memories. And then you're going to go through this scriptive, confusing tactic of saying the same thing to confuse me, to gaslight me, to just kind of diverge. Gonna have send people in the hallways, gonna do the theatrical thing, scream. It's like, no, we map our maps that we use. And yes, as a target individual, it's not only the only thing we're gonna go through is struggle to maintain who we are, struggle to function, struggle to stay healthy. It's gonna be tough. And I was put in this program by an employer of mine who put me in this program for a sole purpose to break me down. Because of perhaps I was somebody that didn't want this company. Now, once you're in here, it doesn't matter about your race, it doesn't matter about your gender, it doesn't matter about your age. You will be treated like a target individual, and you will get the treatment of a target individual. Me as a target individual, I do not make it hard for them. I'm not trying to run away from anywhere. Death is death. I'm gonna die just like they're gonna die. Now, if I die with sufferance, one thing I want to say is, at least I didn't have to live like them. I'm not saying they live an uncomfortable life in the sense of like comfort or luxury or whatnot. I'm talking about just the humiliations of what reality has shown them to be. Things that are happening around me is almost biblical. Mass shootings just happened, the largest mass shooting of the year, the 10th in the U.S. history, because somebody was being told he was a pedophile via V2K. He killed 18 people, including children, a child. A bunch of parents died. They were fathers, they were mothers, and they were children. There was a child in there. Just because this trash, these losers, these bottom feeders are pushing people to lose their mind. And guess what? The blessing they get. Those entities contracting them, helping them mapping. Those entities actually happen to have a lot of pedophiles. Interesting, right? Now, is that a correlation? I don't care about that. But that's the reality. There's a lot of pedophiles in this intelligence community, Department of Defense entities, where they're supposed to go through like this background check that is another level. But somehow letting these people go in. Why? Because they don't care about these things. They know about these people they're employing very well. We're talking about intelligence community kind of information. So everything. And let these people in. Now, is it now when I hear this trash, like, no, we mapped it, you feel like that was our map, it's just trash. And then on top of that, you get humiliated by reality. This man, the CIA agent doing things to 2-year-old and 6-year-old. This guy is working at the Pentagon saying there's so much, like the amount of child porn I see in this government computers, it's just unbelievable. And you hear this, now we mapped it. Hearing from a childlike individual saying that. Then talking about, no, you pay now for what you did as a middle school who just turned 14 years old. I'm like, I just heard you guys suffocating a 7-year-old autistic child and sexual torture. And doing the pedophilia type of torture systematically to the point that almost all target individuals talked about these things. Delusional trash. So for me is that before the day comes when I'm in pain, I'm screaming, because this is going to have to happen. Like I said, the humiliation of reality has been too much for these people. So they're going to try to find peace in my torture, which we all know that's never going to be peace. So, this is the last for today. I'll try to maintain and just calm down and try to function. And to all my target individuals and anybody who's watching this, if you're not a target individual, you're watching this, please, and you're not a perp, please look into that. Ask yourself, just inform yourself. I'm not saying that these people can do anything about it, but just inform yourself. And find yourself lucky that you're not involving yourself in participating in this nastiness. Because you're going to be humiliated to the point where you're going to try to find peace in somebody's torture and torment. And to our target individuals, stay strong. Stay strong. Find yourself lucky. You see how much of a bottom feeder you could have been if things were just different. You find yourself dignified in these sufferings that you go through.